Okay, Wednesday evening. Yes, I look wonderful. Just went to the JET conference, our supposed mid-year conference, even though it's a bit early for that. Most of us have only been teaching for 3 months. For 2 days we had a couple lectures, some discussions, and a whole bunch of workshops. The goal is to improve our teaching abilities, share ideas, and especially to air out any concerns, problems that we may be having. The last part was actually what we did the least of. Our keynote speaker at the beginning, very good, insightful stuff, great ideas. He teaches some high school, mostly college students. Doesn't help us all that much at all. And he was unaware of this when he showed up. Someone told him afterwards. So they asked him to come and tell us about what he was doing. Great stuff, not very applicable. And a lot of the workshops really came down to a couple good ideas from people, a couple little tricks that they use, but a lot of it was also, this is what I do in my lesson. And a lot of us already know it. A lot of us have already seen it. We know where they've gotten it. We know most of the websites that they've gotten their work from. We know most of the books they've gotten their work from, which is mainly the JET Team Top Pizza manual. Team Top Pizza is basically English games and worksheets and how to make more games and worksheets, ideas for you when you don't have other ideas. It's good stuff, but we've all read through it. Most of us have at least one copy of it. I have 3 copies, 7th edition, 6th edition, and a 4th edition, all lying around. I didn't even buy my own. I just had those 3 when I showed up. So the most beneficial thing was us talking with our even though mine weren't there, the Japanese teachers of English. We had a little discussion for about 30 minutes about what we thought, what would make good team teaching work, and our roles as teachers, what was inappropriate, what was appropriate, what we needed, what was our bigger complaints were, things like that. That was the best time for most of the JETs, and I'm sure the JTEs, or sorry, the ALTs, the English teachers, the English speakers, pretty open. So they shared a lot of things, and I'm sure that the Japanese teachers of English heard a lot. I don't know whether they wanted to hear it all, but they definitely learned a lot from it. But at the same time, from what I've heard in different groups, especially if Japanese teachers of English were there with their own ALT, they were pretty tight-lipped about everything because they didn't want to say anything to offend, and they were just very quiet. And they were generally intimidated by the conference. As I said, none showed up from my schools this time. There were less teachers than there were actual assistant language teachers. Most of them are actually afraid of how fast we speak and how, when you get colloquial English going in large seminars, it is hard for them to understand. Not all of them are really proficient in English, even though they teach it. So I think it'd be a good exercise for them, but it's so intimidating that it's just a little much. It kind of scares them away. So, and at the end of the conference, we did have a short kind of brainstorming session of what people thought could make it better, and that was also very creative and very well thought out. The woman who was organizing it is not actually a JET. She won't be organizing it next year. In a few months, she leaves her post at whatever office she's in. She's going to be going someplace else. She was very impressed with how responsive we were during the conference and how well we worked with everything. We play these games with kids all the time. Anytime someone did an example, it was something we had probably done. And after that, she said that she was kind of disappointed in the fact that only 10 people returned her surveys that she had put out at the beginning of the year. Or not at the beginning of the year, like a month ago or so. I think I returned it. I'm not sure if I got it. If I didn't return it, then I didn't get it. So I returned most of the stuff that's emailed to me. Anyways, she was disappointed in that. She looked like she was about to cry. She was so emotional about it. It's kind of sad. Anyways, I'm going to post this soon. I did get a comment online about someone being surprised that I was putting stuff up here about the JET program. Kind of to sum it up, mid-year conferences. I'm sure the after party was fun for most people. I came back and studied because of the exam coming up this week. But people have fun with that. It's nice to see everyone that you know. It's not always productive. Apparently last year there were some better topics. I'm going to get onto the topics just before I wrap this all up. For the topics, there are topics that are handed down from the Japanese Monbusho, the Ministry of Education, that have to be done at the conference. But how you do the topic and what you do within the topic is up to you. So if you give the topic a subtitle, and you say you're covering using the textbook, and you cover that for 5 minutes, and then you do whatever you want, that's fine. The woman who was running the thing and who organized it all did make that clear to us. And it's very Japanese about its style. As long as you say you're doing that, you can do anything you want. In some ways that's similar to, the students have great TOEFL scores and great TOEIC scores and can't speak English. One of the things that I was that I didn't quite bring up specifically, but you say, all these students, they learn so many words and they can't speak them, they can't say them. Teachers don't teach phonics here. They can't read them, they can't speak the words. They know them visually and they know how to put the sentence together. They cannot say them. And that's one of the things that frustrates us ALTs the most, and why there's oftentimes such a discrepancy between what the kids supposedly know and what they actually can produce. We'll come into a class and it's like, oh, they know all these words, but they have trouble saying them and they have trouble remembering them phonetically. They know it as they would know a kanji character. These letters in this sequence mean this. It has a meaning. It does not have, there's no auditory component to it, so they don't produce it very well. They might recognize it if you say it, not always. Producing it themselves is going to be the hardest thing. So, and that's the one that is least addressed. But very similar, there are several things about this, and that seem to come up in parts of Japanese society where, as long as it's the impression that it's right, it is right, even if it's not exactly that. So the students know a lot of grammar and they know a lot of words, they don't know how to say them. At the conference, we could have done more topics and we could have gotten more into that if people had kind of realized that's the way it worked. So, okay, that's enough about my rant. That's enough of my ranting about the conference. But overall, it was still beneficial. Still picked up some ideas. Still got some extra worksheets from other people. It definitely wasn't thrilling or life-changing, but it was, I guess, better than spending the 2 days at school while they were doing tests and I was just sitting around. That would be boring. I've done that before. Well, not for 2 days, but for a good day or so. Okay, that's it. I'm done.